Hey everyone, today's daily pattern is kind of interesting. It is called Tom-Cher-Ific. I do believe, well, it's Trisha Long who created it, and I believe it is named after like a cherry tomato. See, they look like tomatoes. They do, especially since they colored it in their sample. So we're going to give this a go. It shows we start out with some pencil guidelines. Where's my... Draw a circle, and within that circle you do 2 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4 dots. You use those as your guidelines. You're going to draw a half arch and an arch. And then you're going to connect those here, like that. And then put in these little teardrop shapes, these sort of seeds, and then shade. And there you have it. So we'll see what we get. I don't think I'm going to color it. I'm going to just leave it black and white and go for it. This particular tangle is going to remind me of my father-in-law, who grew tomatoes like nobody's business. He always had so many of the darn things. Just going to start here. Circle. I didn't do that circle very well, but that's alright. It'll get hidden. It said pencil for these little dots, but I'm going to go ahead and just do them. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to go ahead and do them in pen. And then it's here to here, here to here, like so. And then this one goes this way and this way. And then you put your little, I made this one kind of small, so my seeds are all filled in because I don't have room to draw an open area there. I just didn't draw that circle, the starting circle, it was not big enough. But that's okay. We'll just do another one. And we'll be a little more mindful of our circle. I move so that they're not all going the same direction, my little... I'm going to do it like that. Go from here to there. And here to there, and there to there, and there, like so. I don't think I need the dots as a guide. Yep, definitely reminds me of my father-in-law. He was the tomato king. He would spend hours in the winter poring over seed catalogs, deciding which varieties of tomatoes he was going to grow. You know, you really only need 1 or 2 plants. He would have, I don't know, 15 or 20 plants of 10 different varieties. We would have hundreds of plants. They were everywhere. But it gave him joy to grow these tomatoes. Gave them away to everyone he knew. So yeah, this reminds me of him. These are happy little tomatoes, right? They are Tom-Cher-Ific. I'm not going to do that little dot thing. I'm just going to do, just remember to leave that gap there, right? We don't need the dots. You can do this without the dots. I think I'm going to do one really overlapping here, big one. Ooh, that tomato's got an interesting shape. Whatever. Zentangle purists would say that this is not a Zentangle pattern. It's a pattern, but they would say it's too representational. I don't think so. I think that's very, especially if you don't color it. I think coloring it in is what really made me see the tomatoes. If it hadn't been named after a tomato and hadn't been colored like that, I might not have seen tomato. I might have seen more steampunk gear like thing. So, you know, it's all in the name. It's all psychological, you know. I'm trying to decide placement wise if I want another like one right here. You really don't need those dots. You just remember to leave that space and you're all good, right? Now, and we don't have to continue making them just like this. We could do something else with this, and perhaps that would make it look less tomato-ish and more Zentangle-ish by doing something else with maybe the center of this. And maybe instead of seeds, we'll put squares. There we go. Now I've given it something else besides tomato, which actually I think I like. I'm going to go ahead and do something else in here as well. Maybe. And that will remove this pattern from the world of tomato specific and put it more zen. I think that's going to help me a little bit here. Just trying to decide where that thing lives. This time we're going to make it way like that and make the middle part really big. That will change it up as well. Right? With maybe something like that. While there is nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with a lovely cherry tomato, if you end up with too representational, for me, it just doesn't feel zen-tangly. And I don't have any problem with that. You know, I can totally do a ZIA, Zentangle inspired art. But if you are a Zentangle purist, you want to find a way to change up this pattern so it doesn't feel completely tomatoey. So just do something different with it, you know. Maybe on the outside you're gonna put some kind of thing. This poor old tomato has some sort of spiderish growth happening on it. And it looks less tomatoey and more zen-tangly. Just my 2 cents. You can take it or leave it. Some people like to do their patterns exactly the way they're drawn. And there's nothing wrong with that. There really isn't. But you've probably by now watched enough of my videos, hopefully you have, to know that, you know, I start out learning the pattern the way the pattern is drawn, and then I change it up. And sometimes I accidentally change it up even before I've learned the pattern because I do something unexpected. It's not wrong, it's not a mistake, it's something unexpected. So sometimes the unexpected makes your work more interesting. It's just unexpected, no big deal. So when people say that they screwed it all up and they made a mistake and they hate it because it doesn't look like the initial pattern, I say, you know, pooey on that. Just because you've done something out of the ordinary does not mean that it's a mistake. It means it's an opportunity to change up your tile, to make something of interest, to create drama, to create variation. I mean, my tile isn't ruined unless, you know, I spill my cup of water on it or something and make it so that the paper is not functional. But if I just draw an unexpected line, well, you know, you just deal with it. Okay, that's fun. I drew them all, started the same. This is, you know, more standard to the thing, but I just changed them up. That one started out the same too. I just added around it. You know, just you can do this and make it your own, and they don't have to be exactly the way the pattern is. It's okay, you know. And then a little shading. I think I'm just going to do the overlaps. I'm not going to do a whole big bunch. You could shade like in here. I might. I'll go back and do it. If you've watched my videos, you know that I like to just shade the overlap first, because for me that tells me whether or not I need more contrast, more shadowing somewhere else, or if it's happy with just the overlap. But for sure, where there's overlap, I like to put shading, because that just seems natural that that's where it needs to be. And you want to make sure you're blending, because when you're looking at an object and it's casting a shadow, see my hand, I don't know if you can tell, right now it's not doing a very good job at casting a shadow. Earlier, my hand was casting a great shadow, but you can see right here where it's casting a shadow. You can see where the shadow is, and then there's this soft thing that's happening right there. So there's a strong shadow, and then there's a softer, like blended. The edges are not crisp unless you happen to have a super bright light that is coming directly, and you know, like a flashlight type light where you get that silhouette type shadow. Most shadows are going to be soft, and so you want to blend those. Even if you just blend a little bit, even if your shadow isn't very thick. See, some of my shadows are going way out, and some of them are just a little bit. But even the ones that are just a little bit, you want to soften that just slightly. You know what? Your eye really can tell the difference. Eyes are spectacular. The range of tonality that your eyes can see is just amazing. So do I want a little bit of shading in some of this? Maybe. Maybe here, and here, and here. We're gonna arbitrarily put a light source by putting shadows and shading on just one side. trying to do that? Why? Because that's where I said it was. Decided it needed a little more, so I gave it a little more. Those were too stark. There we go. Just a little bit. It didn't need much, but I like that. There we go. There we go. There we go. What is this called again? Tom something. Tom-Cher-Ific. Where do I want the words? Up here. Tomcherrific. There we go. Trisha Long made this Tom-Cher-Ific, and those were terrific little tomatoes that I created other stuff out of. Alrighty guys, there we go. That was pretty simple. I'm looking forward to the next daily tangle. Bye.